So my wife doesn't like my rain catching downspout that runs into the pool. So we're going to make a change to that right now. Don't we all wish it went that quickly? I've been out here for about an hour and a half trying to get this thing put up. Now my wife is not going to love this either, but I think she'll like it a bit more than the old one. It's screwed together, there's no tape. We're on a well. Our old concrete pool leaks. We need the runoff, so it will be fine. It's time to work on that new bed in the front yard. So we'll take the edger out, cut ourselves an outline, make a narrow strip, dig it out with a shovel. But I've just noticed something. Of course, I've got a bolt or a screw that's out of this handle. Let's fix that first. Doesn't make much sense to have the equipment out here in the yard and not go on and do all the edging. So we'll knock the yard out and then come back and finish this little project. So with the edger here, I'm going to try to smooth that off, make it a little bit more rounded, get a little balance to this bed. I think that vastly improved the shape of this bed. And now I've got a trench dug about 5 inches wide. I'll come back with a shovel, divide it off in 2 or 3 foot strips, dig that material out, and then we'll see the outline. Now let's move over and do the other bed and get all the cutting over with. Now we have a good shape that we can work with to really lay out the run of this bed so I can figure out its dimensions and how I want to complete it. Then we'll spray the middle out, put mulch in it. Now we have both beds outlined correctly. We'll work on the shape of this one a little bit more. Might put a little bit more character to it, but I think it's basically okay. Over here in front of the magnolia tree, we've done pretty much the same thing. The other thing I did was just went ahead and transplanted one of our hydrangeas, one of my favorites. I think this is called Queen Anne's lace, but I may be mistaken. You'll see part of that right in this shot. And we have all our dirt picked up, loaded up, and ready to go to the washout behind the dam. So all in all, a very effective morning. A little bit hot, cost us a little sweat, but that's okay. Good early morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sid's Blue Sky Farm. It's about 7:15 and we've been out for about 30 minutes this morning. We are trying to beat this crazy heat that's going on. Humidity levels nearing 80% and temperatures mid to upper 90s. The middle of the day is just impossible to work in. So we're getting out early and then coming back later in the day, putting everything away and closing everything out. We've got to do several things today. We're going to put out some grass that we dug up from the beds last week. And then we're going to fire up the small tiller and go back into the courtyard and start really getting after leveling the ground over there. We've decided to do that project ourselves, as I said last week, and it's time to get going. And it's time to get going right now. We'll talk to you later. We'll take the rest of this dirt and grass down and dump it in the wash that's behind the dam. And this is just a little experiment. If it takes, it'll just be fun. But we'll give it a try to widen this bed a little bit. Well, I think that went okay. I think now we can just do a little bit more leveling, trying to get this first leveling attempt a little bit better. This looks much better. We keep moving this dirt around every couple of weeks. We're going to get it close to level one of these days. Went on and just cleaned up all that concrete and the area around there. It shouldn't take very long for this to dry now that the sun's out fully. Maybe we'll come back and just hit it with a rake again this afternoon, and tomorrow maybe start running some string. One other thing I did want to mention was how nice this rose bush that we severely cut back has put out new leaves and even has blooms on it. Good decision all around there. I realized this morning when I mowed that having that one strip of grass really tall there with that dirt base on it put my mower at a disadvantage. In other words, it would drop down and really dig into the grass I'd put down. So instead of taking that extra grass and sticking it down by the dam, I just decided to fill in here. The worst thing that can happen is it's good dirt. So we'll see how it works out. All right. It's very nice to have one of your high school friends less than a mile away who just so happens to be a small engine genius. We'll run this old John Deere over and see if he can get my backup mower starting again. One more thing off the project list. Yeah, it's warmed up quite a bit. Here's my root starter. It's a powder. It's been very effective for me in the past. I don't know the mixing directions. I just put enough in there. I think it's going to impact this water. Give it a good stir. Now, in the past, I've tried every kind of length. You know, a long stem with a bloom or without a bloom. It's kind of a crapshoot. You get what you get, and that's why we do so many of these small pieces. You know, if you put 30 in there, you may get 3, you may get 5, and again, like I've said many times, that process doesn't cost you anything. So we'll fast forward through this, get this bucket filled up, and show you the result. Okay, we've got our bucket filled up here and topped it off with water way up on the stems. The reason we don't have more hydrangeas or any of the rulia or butterfly bushes in this starter pot is because we can dig those up with roots. They're plentiful. They're all over the place. So when we get ready to transplant, we'll just dig those up and put them in the ground. The very same thing with crepe myrtles. They're coming up out of the ground all over, so we don't have to do a lot of work with those. So we'll leave these here and try to get them good sun, but not too much sun, and make sure the water stays filled up. And we'll just take our chances. So I think we'll call it quits for today. And I think for this video, we're going to avoid the heat for the next couple of days. Maybe we'll get a break over the weekend and start filming some other things that are interesting. But until we see you again, everybody stay cool. Take care. We'll see you.